everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Daria, and in today's quick yoga practice, we will be stretching and strengthening the hands, the wrists, the feet, and the ankles. These are areas where we don't often spend a lot of time working, but we spend a lot of time on our feet and on our hands, especially in a yoga practice. So hopefully this should feel really good. All that you'll need is yourself and some place to move, and when you're ready, let's get into it. We'll get started in tabletop in an all fours position. So find your way up to hands and knees. Try to shorten your stance a little bit so you can tuck your toes behind you, and it doesn't matter if your hips are perfectly stacked over your knees for right now. And then just begin rocking forward and back. You can begin to move with breath. So shifting your weight forward so that more comes into your finger pads, pressing them down and clawing them out with all 10 fingers, and then shift it back. This can be really, really subtle or maybe a little bit more broad, depending on how open you feel, how much sensation you're experiencing in your wrists right away. A couple more times, just gently rocking forward and back, forward and back. Now, begin to pivot your hands so that all of your fingers face the long edges of your mat. So inner wrists face each other and fingers face out wide. And we'll just begin shifting side to side, again, really gently. Try to keep your arms pulling straight-ish, but don't lock out your elbows, especially if you're like me and you know that you have a tendency to hyperextend. So straight-ish, maybe a bit of a micro bend, and we're just rocking from side to side. Keep rooting into your fingertips. I say this a lot, and that's because the more that you send weight down into your fingertips and your knuckles, the less pressure you're placing on your wrists. Good. From here, we'll keep walking the fingers all the way around until they face back towards your thighs. And again, we'll rock forward and back. And this is where you might begin to feel quite a bit of sensation, especially down the fronts of your arms. So if you need to just make really subtle movements, that's fine. You can also bring a little bit of a bend into your elbows if that's feeling better for you. Rocking gently back and forth 2 more times. Now walk your palms all the way back around to face forward, fingertips forward, then keep turning them inward. So palms come in to face toward each other, and they might even revolve slightly back to face towards your thighs again. If not, that's fine too. Might just bringing fingers to face toward each other. Might just be bringing fingers to face toward each other. And again, just find gentle rocks forward and back. If your toes are getting tired, you can always untuck them behind you so the tops of the feet come down, and that might give you a bit of a broader range of motion as well. Good. Last one here. Turn the tops of your hands down to the mat, bringing your fingertips to face towards your thighs. And try not to place too much weight down into the tops of your hands. They're not really meant to take that weight. But just play with, again, shifting it a little bit forward and a little bit back. This is where subtlety is key. Keep your fingers spread wide. You can root your fingernails down. Couple more breaths here. And even though this is not really a breath-centered practice, still play with deepening your breath, sending it to spaces that feel extra tight. Good. Now, tuck your toes behind you, draw your knees together, and begin to shift your hips all the way back to sit on your heels. Try to get all of your toes tucked, including your pinkies, even if that means you have to manually tuck them. If this is feeling like a lot, you can widen your knees, and that will lessen the intensity, or you can place a block or a pillow or something under your butt, between your butt and your heels, and that will also take some of the weight of your body off of your heels. We're not going to stay here for too long, and if you need to make them a little more bite-sized, if you want to cut it up into pieces, you can take breaks, bringing the tops of your feet down and then tugging your toes again. As we sit here, let's go ahead and keep stretching into our hands and our wrists. So flex your right fingertips all the way up towards your face, then use your left hand to pull your fingers in toward the front of your right arm. Try to keep your shoulders soft away from your ears. You can bring in little pulses And we'll just be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll switch it out. Left fingertips flex up, right hand pulls them closer towards your arm. And your range of motion might look a bit different than mine here. That's totally normal and totally fine. Go based on how it feels, not how it looks, as always. We're only here for a little bit longer. Try to keep your toes tucked, even if it's starting to feel uncomfortable. And release. We'll take a little break, untuck your toes, bring the tops of your feet down, widen your knees, but keep your big toes rooting. Ground your palms down about underneath your shoulders like a shortened child's pose. We'll bring in some little cat-cows here. Inhale, stick your butt out, reach your heart high, pull your palms towards your legs. Then as you exhale, round and curl, hollow through your belly, drop your head. 2 more like that. Inhale. And exhale. Last time. Inhale, butt goes back, heart reaches forward. Exhale, pull your belly button towards your spine. Press your palms down and forward. Then draw your knees back together. Tuck your toes one more time behind you and sit down onto your heels. Now we'll take a little shoulder stretch here as we sit. So sweep your right elbow under your left. You can either take a bear hug, reaching for opposite shoulders, or go for eagle arms, threading your palms together to meet. If you're an eagle, stretch your elbows away from your face and then up. So elbows and knees pull away from each other. Breathe into the backs of your shoulder blades. And then release, and we'll switch it out. So the left elbow threads under this time. Bear hug or eagle arms, palms meet. And we're almost there. 2 more big breaths here. And release. You can untuck your toes. Again, just press the tops of your feet down into the mat. Feel that nice release. And from here, root palms down, and we'll glide all the way back to downward facing dog. Take a few moments to stretch into the back line of your legs. You can pedal your feet, feeling more of a calf stretch, and then begin to find stillness. And we'll just lift and lower our heels here for 5 rounds. So as you inhale, lift your heels as high as they'll go. Really articulate as you roll through your feet, press your toes down. Then as you exhale, slowly pour your heels back toward the mat. Even if they don't touch, see if you can lift your toes at the bottom. 4 more like that. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, magnetize heels and the earth. Lift your toes. Inhale. Exhale. Keep spreading your fingers really wide, finger pads rooting. And lower the heels. 1 last time. Inhale, roll all the way up to the high balls of your feet. Exhale, lower it down. Now from here, we'll lift up 1 more time onto the balls of our feet. Root into your left toes and the ball of your left foot. See if you can pick up your right foot and then press the tops of your toes into the mat. If this feels really uncomfortable, just be a bit more gentle, place less weight down. And then switch out, so right toes will tuck, press into the ball of right foot. Left top of foot now is stretching out. And you can stay here and try to play with switching back and forth, 1 foot and then the other, or can you bring both tops of feet down to the mat at once in your downward facing dog? Press the earth away, down and forward through your palms. Inhale here. Then begin to sink your knees down to the mat, rolling over the tops of your feet. If this is super challenging, you can stay with toes tucked as you transition, and then at the top of your downward facing dog, press the top of 1 foot down and then the top of the other foot. If not, keep your toes untucked. We'll roll over the tops of your feet all the way back up to downward facing dog, and then roll all the way back down to your knees. 2 more times right here. Use your breath as you transition. Good, last time. And release. Sit all the way back to your heels. Bring your palms to face up on your thighs. Take a big full inhale through your nose. And a big exhale out through your mouth. That's all for today's practice. You're welcome to repeat these exercises again if you'd like to find a little bit more depth or space. This is also great prep for before you practice handstands, for your hands to really articulate through all of those different positions. But I hope you enjoyed this practice. If you're not already, make sure to go down below and subscribe to my channel because that really supports me. I hope that you're doing great, and I hope that you have an awesome rest of your day. And I will see you in the next practice. Bye.